Hello everyone, this is Dungeon Master Bloba coming at you after a very long absence. I'm sorry for all that, and there'll be a whole video unto itself if anyone's really interested in the whole story behind all that. But enough chitter chatter. I thought I'd come back with something. I thought about this for a little while. I had problems with it a lot through my career as a DM, and this is how to make a good boss and or main villain type character for your campaign. This is probably going to be broken down into a couple of parts. This part's going to be about how to make, in my opinion, the most important thing, story and depth behind the villain. You look at most of the major villains from culture, comics, movies, games, whatever, they all, most of the time, all the good ones have a really fleshed out backstory. Um, just like any comic superhero, they need a really good villain. I mean, everybody loves Batman, but they also love the Joker, you know? So it's important that you make your villain a great character. Not necessarily a likable one, but a good, enthralling character. Either they love to hate or hate to love. Um, to do that, you gotta think, why is your villain evil in the first place? What, or antagonist, if you're doing a evil campaign, why are they good in the first place? Um, so you got to think about these things. Like, were they, if they were evil villain person versus your good party and whatever you're doing, why? Why are they evil, or why are they good? Were they evil because of something good organization did to them in their past? Maybe their family died at the hands of some goodly organization or something masquerading as such, and now they hate that organization that your players happen to be a part of, or they hate your players for it? Or are they just greedy? Have they been corrupted or possessed or mind controlled somehow into doing these misdeeds? Or do they simply thrive on chaos and corruption? These are things to consider, and then after you consider why, try to wrap them into your character's story personally. You have their backstory. Make sure you get that out of the way first. The villain slash antagonist have their backstory down. Have, if you want to, you can go as far as where they grew up. Do they have any family? Do they make them as extensively as you'd make your own player character, so that they can have as much depth to them as possible. And after you get that all done, look to your player characters. Look at ways you can twist them up. Maybe that random raid on a village that your player grew up in wasn't just so random after all. Or maybe that mugging that happened in the alley the other night wasn't just a random mugging. Or perhaps their employer has ulterior motives and they're actually working for the antagonist in a plot twist. Or they're working against the antagonist for another corrupt power, like the enemy of my enemy situation. All these things can really tie into the story well. Perhaps the antagonist is perhaps they're a personal relationship with your players, such as maybe they are a family member or old friend or lover. And then think about what happened there that adds more depth to it. If they were siblings, or maybe they were separated at birth, or maybe their parents were killed and one of them went on a path of good and the other went on a path of evil, both of them dealing with it in their own way. Maybe if you're playing something in a more modern setting, maybe one of them stayed through school their entire life and became a detective, or the other one fell out and just went with the flow and started getting into the drugs and eventually became a drug dealer and worked his way up the crime ladder. And then you have the siblings pitted against each other right there in the modern setting, or in the medieval setting. Maybe one was sold into slavery while the other one, um no, let's change that. Say they were both sold into slavery, and then one of them sold the other one out on an escaped attempt to get brownie points with the slave masters or something, and then after they both eventually got released, they hold a grudge against each other. all this can be ways to wrap your characters up and together with them. And make sure the final confrontation has good story points to it. Like, if you the mechanics, which I'll probably get to in another video, can be nice, but make sure there's a good resolution to the story. Make sure that your players know, or at least think they know, this is the main bad guy. This is the um, main antagonist we just won, or at least they think they did. I'll get to that in maybe probably another video. I'll make probably 3 videos on this total. The next one will probably be about mechanics, and the one after that will probably be about plot twist and whatnot. But make sure there's a good resolution to your antagonist. Like when they make up. If they were siblings or friends or lovers or something, maybe they can make up with each other. Maybe it's not like a serious rivalry where the world hangs in the balance or something. Or maybe one or the other converts them. Maybe the hero turns to the villain side, or maybe somebody pulls a Darth Vader type thing and redeems themselves at the last moment. Um, or it could just turn out to be an epic climactic battle where one of them thinks they've won, but the other one survives somehow. Something along the lines of Obi-Wan and Anakin in Star Wars Episode 3. How Anakin survived and became Darth Vader and became an antagonist for an entire new thing. That's what you do. You can move the antagonist on to a new campaign. Maybe even use one of the old player characters as a new antagonist. I've done that before. One of my players gave up on one of their characters after they lost their paladin hood. Yeah, it was paladin, and they moved on. They abandoned that character, and they just turned the character over to me, and the character left. Just none of the players knew anything that happened to him, and eventually there came a blackguard under the service of an evil deity who was antagonizing, well, not really a deity, someone trying to achieve um, demigod status. But anyways, they became a servitor to them and became another antagonist to the players. So all these things are stuff that you can do to make your villain seem a little bit more alive. And just remember, always have a good beginning, middle, and end. It's like any good story. If you have a great beginning, middle, and end, then you'll have a great character. So checklist: backstory, confrontation, resolution. There you go. That's what you really. That's the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of a good villain. This is Dungeon Master Boba signing off. See you guys next time. And remember, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like it, feel free to dislike. I just ask that you please leave in the comments below what you didn't like about it. And like I said, Dungeon Master Boba signing off. Have a nice day. Oh no.